Some of you guys may have heard this. And it's a concept of social media is now turning into interest media. Okay? So what does this mean? Let's unpack this for a second. So if you make content and you judge it by views, I think that's dumb, and I'll explain why. If I have a grandma in public come and just do a running slap and just slaps me across the face, that video will probably get views. But does it get the grandma views? No. Does it get me any more people who now believe more in my stuff? No. But what it will do is it will show it to people who are interested in humor, which is a lot of people, right? But those might not be your customers, and they probably aren't. So, assuming you're not an entertainer and you are somebody who's a business person, and if you're in business, whatever business you're at, e-commerce, SaaS, services, brick and mortar, doesn't matter. If you sell services to anyone, you're likely going to be an educator, not an entertainer. Meaning you're trying to provide value to people to change their behavior in some way, and ideally changing the behavior that gets them to walk closer to you and buy stuff. Okay? So, what do I mean by social versus interest? If you want to attract the right avatar, make content for that avatar. That sounds so obvious and simple, and the thing is that no one does it, because here's the writer downer. The content is the targeting. Like, the algorithm is so good now, it knows what you're talking about. It knows it can literally judge your background, it judges what you're wearing, it judges who you are, and will display it to the people that they know have a history of watching content that is similar to that people find valuable. And so if you're making stuff about how to fix pianos because you're a piano repair guy, then you will find people who are trying to fix their pianos, right? Or maybe they're making a purchasing decision relative to pianos, and maybe they want to see which ones break the least or whatever. But if you're making that type of content, you might be like, man, I'm only getting 1,000 views a video. It's like, yeah, but the market of people who are buying pianos might be significantly smaller than the market of people who just want to be entertained or distracted. So it's not fair to compare your views against Mr. Beast's. It doesn't make any sense, right? And so if I were to think to myself, like, I have a room of 1,000 people that are going to watch this, and all of them are only interested in fixing pianos, that's a hell of an opportunity. And so we have just like wildly I don't want to say not tracked. We track views, of course, but like I care so much more about IRL responses. So what do I mean by that? If I make a video and then I get texts from business owners that I like and that I respect being like, yo, that was fire, then I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. And so some of you guys, let me know in the comments you guys have seen a format that we talked about. We call it cash cows, but basically it's me. There's a business owner that presents a little bit about their business, and they come to this side, and we talk about how to improve their business, right? So let me know in the comments if you like that style, and if you do, let me know if you're a business owner or not. Okay, so I like that style, and I'm not a business owner. I like that style, and I am a business owner, or I don't like that style, and I'm a business owner, or I don't like that style, and I'm not a business owner. Let me know in the chat. I'm at a delay, so I'm just gonna guess what the responses are. But here's the reality of it. Whenever people are here in person at our headquarters, right? You were like that style in your business owner. Okay, great. Yes. Okay. Yes. Exactly. So if you are a business owner, when I have people who are here in person, IRL, in real life, in Vegas, right? Business owners who fly out, I say, what is your favorite type of content? Dollars to donuts, that's their favorite type of content. And so I make more of that, even though, and it would make sense. Like, it would make sense that there's fewer of those people, right? Because just think about math. If you've got the whole population here, I'll show you a little graph on this. And you have to do this math for yourself, otherwise you're gonna get really frustrated with your content. So let's say that 100% of people, like this represents 100%, let's just use USA because I already know all the numbers for USA, okay? So let's say this is 100%, all right? You get 100% of people who are interested. Okay, well, right now only 9% of people even own a business. Like 9%. So right off the bat, I'm gonna have a huge percentage of people that aren't my ideal audience. Now, of course, I do have people who are business interested, and that's why I'm a co-founder of School, and we give people a way to go start a business online in a low-cost way, right? Which you can do. It's $9 a month after a 14-day trial. You guys can check it out. And there's a bunch of training and community and all that good stuff. All right, but you can go school.com, I think /Hormozi. I think it's below this video. Doesn't matter. Point being, 9% is what I'm competing for, okay? Now, that means there's about 32 to 33 million business owners in the US, okay? 32 million. That's 100% of all business owners. Now, within that, 95% of that 9% is below $1 million in revenue. 95%. So then I've got 5% of that 9% that are over $1 million. Now, if you want to get weird with it, what percent do you think is over 10 million? 0.4%. 1 in 250. 0.4%. And then 100 million, 9 figures, is I think 1 in roughly 3,000, depending on like your data source. 1 in 3,000 businesses gets to 100 million a year. This big. And so it would make sense then, right, that we've given these numbers, right, 9% is 32 million. So out of 5% of that is going to be 1.5 million people. There's only 1.5 million people who are business owners doing over $1 million, based on the math that this is Census Bureau data. Maybe theirs isn't correct, but that's the math, right? And so if we're looking at that's the market, then it would make sense that I'm not going to get all 100% of them to watch my video, right? If I got 1.5 million views and 100% of them were business owners, that'd be insane, right? And so it would make sense that like if I get 100,000 views on a video that's really made for that level of business owner, then I'm crushing it, right? And it doesn't make sense to look at Mr. Beast's video with 100 million views and be like, oh man, I suck. It's like, dude, we're going after, we have different games, right? And so I'd encourage you to create accurate expectations of the size of the market that you're going after, and also think about the translation of these numbers into IRL, real life. Because when I started out and I was making YouTube content, like I started zero, just like everybody else did. And I remember saying, like, I was like, can you imagine there's gonna be a time where we get 10,000 views on a video? I remember saying this. I was like, dude, we're gonna get 10,000 views in 24 hours. It's gonna be sick. And that was because at that time I was getting like 1,000 views in 24 hours, right? But for me, I was like 1,000. Like I worked in real life. I had brick and mortar. So for me to get 1,000 people in a room, I was like, my God, I would do lunch and learns with 15 people, right? So I got 15 views. I was like, hell yeah. I mean, I would do this in person, and this is just being convenient for them. So it's at home, right? And so I bring this up so that you don't judge the number of views. It's way more important to have quality of views. I have 2 businesses that I looked at in the last year that were doing over $1 million a year with less than 5,000 followers. There's another business that's a B2B insurance company that I invested in that I don't want to share their numbers, but okay, I won't share it. I'll just say many millions on like 10,000 followers. I'll just leave it there. All right. And so like you absolutely can make plenty of money with a very small following as long as you make content that's directly valuable for that following.